Aloha, my name is Celestial, and my article today is Why Don't Students Like School? Because the Mind is Not Designed for Thinking by Daniel T. Willingham. First off, the purpose of my presentation is to discover why it is hard for students to understand in a general classroom setting. How can we as a teacher get the students involved and help them find enjoyment in what we are learning? Why is it hard for students to enjoy going to school? By the end of this presentation, I hope it will help you understand different techniques you can use to get the child involved. The brain. The brain was not invented to think. In fact, it was invented to save us from thinking about certain problems. When we are faced with a problem, we go back. We use our memory to see if we have seen this problem before. This is because it is easier to have a faster answer with giving you 8 times 7, 56, than having to write it out as a new problem of 135 times 568. That'll make the student want to give up because it seems too hard. Thinking. Although the brain does not like to think, we like to think. We like to think when we know we can solve what we are given. People are genuinely curious. Curiosity leads people to think. But when problems are too hard, they get frustrated, and that's when they want to give up. You should give different sorts of mental problems. Because if you give them hard ones, the students will try to avoid that problem. This could lead to acting out in the classroom. If you are continually giving hard work to this student when you know they have failed previous work, they will lose interest in coming to school. As a teacher, we need to understand that every child learns differently. If we do give the same work every day to all the children, and by the end of that week see that the same person is struggling on every paper, they will fail. You need to have different plans for different people, not necessarily giving them something easier just because they're struggling, but helping them so that they can get up to the level that the rest of the students are at. Have problems that you know they can solve. Instead of having a mathematic puzzle that everyone else can solve, maybe give them a poem, something you know they'll be able to understand and feel good about when they do tell you the answer. Never ever give the student the answer. By doing that, they learn nothing. Try to understand that it is important that they take home something at the end of the day. Have a visual aid. When you are teaching, don't just say things, because the student has a hard time memorizing everything one professor says. Writing on the blackboard will tell the student that they need to write it down, which leaves more room in the brain for memory. Here are things you can try out. Give short quizzes after you taught a new concept. This will help you see if the student is understanding your work. Or exit slips. Let them write down one thing they've learned that day. Something that's easy and not for a grade, but you know they are paying attention. Or split them up into groups and do a point system. Have them raise their hand if they have the answer, and if they do, their group gets a point. At the end of the week, you give them a prize. This helps motivate the children in the groups, so motivates them for a prize and helps you know that they are understanding. On the left is reasons why students give up, and on the right is what we can do to help them. If the classroom is going too fast, all you have to do as a teacher is make sure everyone is caught up. If you see someone is falling behind, help them. If the problems are too easy in class, then the student will find the classroom boring. Have something that's eye-catching and will have them thinking. But if the problem is too hard, you must give them an opportunity to really think about the problem. If the student feels like the teacher doesn't care, show them you do. Have one-on-one sessions with them. And if the student feels just easier to give up, that's where motivation is key. Motivate them to keep coming to school, and motivate them by letting them know you understand they need extra help. I really like this article because it does show exactly why it's hard for students like me to go to school. Sometimes things are hard and you want to give up. But as a teacher, it is our responsibility to make sure that the student does not give up. This article helped me realize that for me being a teacher, I am going to need to know each student one by one because every student is different. And with that, I will be able to make sure that school is fun for them.